One of the things that we must cultivate if we are going to live a life that is driven by purpose, if we are going to live an audacious life, is an abundance mindset. An abundance mindset is to believe that life is limitless, that opportunities are limitless, that there is more than enough to go around. That it is a perspective that allows you to see life as full, as open, as generous. The opposite of this is scarcity mindset. And for a lot of us, because of how we've been raised, we do not even realize that we are operating with a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is the belief that, resources are limited. It is the belief that life is a zero-sum game. So you believe that if one person wins, then that means I have lost, right? And so unknowingly to us, it has created a perspective where the way we view life, the way we approach life is driven by fear, it's driven by comparison, it's driven by just the thoughts that there is never enough. And when people operate from a scarcity mindset, it becomes very difficult for them to enter into possibilities, to enter into the vast realities available to them. Without an abundance mindset, you're going to be locked into a frame of mind that keeps you fearful, a frame of mind that keeps you holding on to things that you need to let go. For some of us, we are holding on to things, people, places that we need to let go of. But because we are afraid that, look, there isn't enough, there is no other option, there is nothing else for me, we hold on to those things, not realizing that it is the very fact that we are holding on to those things out of a fear-based mindset, which is the scarcity mindset, that is preventing us from entering into abundance. We tell ourselves, oh, I'm just being safe, I'm just being smart, I'm just being wise. And while there is a place for wise decisions, a lot of times when we probe and ask, what is the underlying reason driving this decision? Is it fear? Is it faith? We begin to realize that, look, it's fear, it's scarcity that is, driving that decision that we are making to hold on to something or not to give of something. For some of us, we find it very hard to even give of our time, our resources, our ideas, simply because we are so afraid of competition. Everything is a competition. Meanwhile, there are places in life, there are things that we will not even enter into until we're able to embrace collaboration. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible talks about how there is one who scattereth, right? Yet has more than enough. To scatter means to give, has more than enough. And there is one who withholds more than is necessary and yet tended to poverty. So the person who withholds more than is necessary is a person operating from scarcity mindset. And they think that the more I hold on to something, the more I have. But we see that the reverse is the case. When you make a switch from scarcity to abundance mindset, what begins to happen is that in the very places where scarcity has blocked your eyes, has blocked your mind, you begin to see opportunities. The very things that before you could not even see an opportunity, with an abundance mindset, opportunity begins to open up. You need an abundance mindset because this is one of the things that will help you live life fearlessly. Once abundance mindset comes into play, you can now begin to collaborate with people. You can now begin to celebrate other people's win. You can even see yourself and see others, and you're not intimidated. You understand that, look, there is room for everyone to shine. There are billions of stars in the galaxies and they all shine in their own rights. This is what happens to you. The more life expands on your inside, the more life will expand for you on your outside. If life doesn't expand for you on your inside, if you don't believe, if you don't do the work to cultivate a mindset that sees abundance, it's going to be very difficult for your life on the outside to, to match or to display abundance. And what are some of the ways that you can embrace abundance mindsets? One primary one is gratitude. Stay in gratitude. I tell people that gratitude is not a feeling, it's a practice, it's a lifestyle. It's choosing to focus and expand within you the things that you have, the things that you currently are having. I've found that personally for me, I take time to just sit, and it might look like I am magnifying things that other people might think, oh, that's not a big deal. But I sit, I reflect on some of the things that I have that has happened for me, and I magnify them and make them big in my mind and just infuse them with so much gratitude. Another way that you can embrace an abundance mindset is to deliberately give. You see, until you become a master over your resources in terms of being able to say, look, I will give, I will be generous. I decide how I am going to give, how I am going to spend, how I am going to give of my encouragement, of my time, of whatever it is to people. You're going to be locked into that small-mindedness, that small perspective. So you must intentionally practice generosity, not because you're looking for people to give back or whatever it is, but because every time you intentionally practice generosity, you are affirming to your mind that I am not afraid of scarcity. I am not afraid that I will run out. I am not afraid that there is an end to what is available to me. That's one. And then second, you're also opening up your life for you to get. You give, you get. You give, you get. That's the flow of life. And of course, the more you embrace an abundance mindset, the more you open yourself up to collaboration. Look, it is often said that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with people. If you don't have an abundance mindset, you will not be able to securely, find yourself being able to just open up, collaborate with people in a manner that will push your life forward, because you would always be afraid of hoarding and keeping things to yourself. It's time for you to cultivate. Remember, with mindset, we have to do the work of wiring our mind, cultivating our mind. Another thing that you must do is expose yourself to models, to people who live from a place of abundance. Expose yourself to those pictures. They begin to create possibilities. We are limited to the degree of the exposure that we have. So if you want a new perspective in your life, you have to necessarily expose yourself to that perspective, that model, so that it becomes a reality in your mind. So this is through books, through mentors, through coaches, whatever it is. Do the work of exposing yourself to a reality that is framed by abundance. As you do this, you begin to see a shift in your life. You begin to see a shift internally in the way your shoulder relaxes. You stop clenching your jaw. You stop taking life from approaching life from such a place of fear. You are able to relax. You're able to sit and lean into the abundance that God has for you. You're able to trust, and you're able to live with the flow of life that God has for you. Till next time, stay well, stay blessed, and keep blooming.